You are listening to Ransomware News. This week, a reading of Jim Tyler's latest article on China's invisible cyber war against Taiwan.
Did China wage an invisible war against Taiwan in 2024 and 2025? By Jim Tyler. Taiwan's cyber attacks were, officials assured us, just ransomware, criminal activity from profit-seeking hackers, not state-sponsored warfare. The attacks had ransom demands. Victims could pay. This was cybercrime, not cyber warfare. Now we have at least a partial answer. According to Taiwan's Ministry of Justice Investigation Bureau and multiple cybersecurity forensic reports, Taiwan really did face coordinated state-sponsored attacks disguised as criminal ransomware throughout 2024 and into 2025. A pattern of evidence makes clear that while attackers demanded ransoms, their primary objectives, especially the May 2020 Cold Lock campaign and the 2025 Crazy Hunter operations, cannot all be deemed ordinary cybercrime. That's a big deal. The evidence is based on forensic analysis of ransomware variants, attack timing coordinated with political events, and attribution linking perpetrators to Chinese state actors. It provides the most definitive account of how ransomware became a weapon of political warfare against a democracy. But the cybersecurity industry has largely treated this as just another threat actor profile. Only specialized intelligence firms have given it serious attention as what it actually represents: hybrid warfare. To be sure, attribution in cyberspace is notoriously difficult. Security researchers are quick to note that false flags exist, and nation-states deliberately muddy attribution. But defenders of the "it's just crime" narrative should be wary of dismissing the evidence. Taiwan's investigators, the FBI, and multiple independent security firms have the goods. And it's not ambiguous. Consider the May 2020 Cold Lock ransomware campaign that hit Taiwan's critical infrastructure. The attacks targeted CPC Corporation State Petroleum, Chunghwa Telecom National Provider, Formosa Petrochemical, and PowerTech Technology Semiconductors in a coordinated weekend strike. Taiwan's Investigation Bureau attributed the attacks to China-linked Winty Group. That alone raised eyebrows. But here's what should have ended the debate. Forensic analysis revealed the ransomware variant had no payment mechanism, no contact email, and no RSA public key. I'll say that again. The ransomware couldn't decrypt files even if victims paid. It was physically impossible. What kind of profit-seeking criminal deploys ransomware that can't accept payment? The attackers also failed to delete volume shadow copies, a basic step any ransomware operator takes to prevent recovery. Either these were the world's most incompetent criminals, or they weren't trying to make money at all. The timing was 1 week before Taiwan's presidential inauguration. That's not a coincidence, it's a calling card. US intelligence officials told multiple outlets they assess China's cyber operations against Taiwan as preparation of the battlefield, pre-positioning to disrupt command and control, power grids and government services in potential military conflict. But we keep calling it ransomware because it looked like ransomware and someone put a Bitcoin address in a text file somewhere. Fast forward to January 2025. A new ransomware group called Crazy Hunter appears with a data leak site showing 10 victims. All 10 are Taiwanese. Not mostly Taiwanese. Not targeting Asia Pacific with some Taiwanese victims. 100% Taiwan-only targeting. Taiwan's Criminal Investigation Bureau identified the perpetrator as a 20-year-old Chinese national who hit 11 hospitals, schools and manufacturers in 6 weeks. The group's contact email includes TW in the address .me. They're not even pretending anymore. The February 2025 Mackay Memorial Hospital breach was the largest healthcare data breach in Taiwan's history. Crazy Hunter encrypted hospital files, crashed 500-plus computers, and demanded $1.5 million. The hospital refused to pay. The attackers then sold 16.6 million patient records on dark web forums. That part sounds like crime, but here's what doesn't. Crazy Hunter exclusively targets Taiwan while ignoring vastly larger and wealthier targets throughout Asia. Japan has 10 times the population and higher GDP per capita. South Korea has advanced healthcare infrastructure. Singapore has concentrated wealth. Yet Crazy Hunter hits Taiwanese schools and small manufacturers instead of lucrative Japanese or Korean targets. What kind of profit-maximizing criminal ignores easy money to exclusively target one politically sensitive island? The answer is, they're not profit-maximizing criminals.
You are listening to Ransomware News.
Technical analysis reveals even more. Multiple Taiwan attacks deployed fileless PowerShell payloads that load directly into memory without writing to disk, defeating signature-based detection while leaving minimal forensic trail. That's sophisticated tradecraft. The pattern continues with Crazy Hunter. Technical analysis shows 80% of their toolkit consists of open-source GitHub tools. Prince Ransomware Builder, Zamocide, Sharp GPO Abuse. They're not elite hackers. They're barely competent. Yet they successfully compromised Taiwan hospital networks using NTLM relay attacks through Active Directory Certificate Services vulnerabilities, achieving domain takeover in 72 hours. Who equipped script kiddies with that attack playbook and pointed them exclusively at Taiwan? Taiwan faces 2.4 million cyber attacks daily on government networks, double last year's rate. That's 100 attacks per second, every second, all year. China accounts for 58% of attacks. Russia adds 18%. North Korea chips in 16%. Global ransomware economics provide context. Median ransom payments hit $2 million in 2024. Recovery costs average $2.73 million. Only 46% of victims who pay actually recover data, and 80% get hit again within months. Paying ransom is terrible business for criminals. It generates customer complaints, law enforcement attention, and reputation damage that hurts future extortion. Yet Taiwan documented 26 confirmed ransomware victims in 2024, with 13 out of 91 active global ransomware gangs recording Taiwan victims. That's a 14% participation rate targeting an island with 0.3% of global population and 1.8% of global GDP. The targeting intensity is 5 to 7 times higher than Taiwan's economic weight would justify. Either every ransomware gang on Earth thinks Taiwan is wildly profitable, it's not, or some of these gangs have non-financial objectives. Taiwan's Investigation Bureau, multiple independent security firms, and the FBI have attributed specific attacks to Chinese state actors, including Winty Group, APT-10, Flax Typhoon, and TA415. These aren't fringe researchers making wild claims. These are established attribution standards in the cybersecurity industry. APT-10 exploited a vulnerability in security software used by 80% of Taiwan's financial sector during Operation Cash Panda. Flax Typhoon operates from Fujian Province, directly across the Taiwan Strait, and compromised Taiwan university networks to reach diplomatic targets. TA415 sent fake job offers to semiconductor engineers delivering Cobalt Strike and Voldemort Backdoor. Did China wage invisible war against Taiwan in 2024 to 2025? The evidence suggests yes, with the caveat that war looks different in cyberspace. Traditional warfare has clear combatants, declarations, and kinetic effects. Cyber warfare hides behind criminal infrastructure, maintains plausible deniability, and achieves strategic objectives without firing a shot. Ransomware that can't decrypt files timed to presidential inaugurations isn't crime. Exclusively geographic targeting of a politically contested territory isn't profit-seeking behavior. Doubling attack volumes year over year against a specific adversary isn't opportunistic hacking. Taiwan allocates $75 million annually for cybersecurity defense against 2.4 million daily attacks. The Ministry of Digital Affairs coordinates response. TWCERT/CC shares intelligence internationally. They've mandated zero-trust architecture and run live drills with major corporations. It's sophisticated, well-funded by regional standards, and completely inadequate for the threat they face. Because you can't defend against hybrid warfare with incident response playbooks. You can't patch your way out of geopolitical conflict. And you can't stop attacks that blend state objectives with criminal methods using tools designed to stop criminals. Taiwan controls 67% of global semiconductor production. Every fab line that halts, every supplier that gets compromised, every chip design that leaks advances strategic objectives regardless of whether ransom gets paid. The attacks serve dual purposes: fund criminal infrastructure while degrading adversary capability. We keep calling it ransomware because that's comfortable. Ransomware is a solved problem, technically hard, but conceptually simple. You patch vulnerabilities, implement zero trust, maintain offline backups, and refuse to pay. Warfare is different. Warfare requires acknowledging adversaries, accepting conflict, and responding with more than defensive security controls. The cybersecurity industry has the evidence. Taiwan's investigators have attribution. US intelligence has assessment. We just refuse to call it what it is because then we'd have to do something about it beyond publishing threat intelligence reports and selling EDR licenses. Taiwan's ransomware crisis isn't a crisis. It's a preview. The distinction between cybercrime and cyber warfare is disappearing, and the model China is perfecting against Taiwan scales to every democracy with adversaries, criminal hackers for hire, and critical infrastructure connected to the internet. That would be everyone.
Thanks for listening to Ransomware News. If this analysis challenged your assumptions about ransomware disruption, subscribe for weekly insights that go beyond vendor threat reports and law enforcement press releases. Visit www.ransomware.news.